Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off Chain. My name is Jimmy Song, and today is November 18th, 2017. Lots of stuff going on, but first let's take a look at the price. Bitcoin is currently trading at around 7,700. It did come back up from the lows of yesterday at 7,431. And we're still about $200, $300 away from the all-time high. All right, our top story today is this tweet by John Newbery. He actually kind of had a long tweet storm about this, but basically, he says something to the effect of the 2x nodes froze at block 494782 before 2 blocks before the intended hard fork, and it was because of an off by 1 error. And this is because the block at 494783 was 784 was supposed to be greater than 1 megabyte, but due to a programming error and an off by 1 error, the nodes expected a 494783 to actually have a greater than 1 megabyte block. So because the nodes were waiting for 49478 to be greater than 1 megabyte to an older node, or have a block weight greater than 4 million. But miners weren't producing it until 494784. This caused just sort of a complete freeze. It just stalled out. And he talks about how version bit state code is pretty confusing, and the hard fork code had no review. This is consensus critical part of the code. And he took a look at the miner activation code, and there's another bug in there. It's accessed before initialization. The result, no large block can be mined to trigger the fork. And this is a simple bug. Any reasonably competent coder would have spotted this. Any reasonable review process would have caught this. Sadly, BTC1 had neither. When I pointed this out to Jeff, he immediately created a patch and pushed it out. So despite SegWit2x being abandoned, Jeff Garzik went in and patched the code anyway. I guess there were people that were relying on that code. I'm not sure. So anyway, trying to create SegWit2x fork at this point when it's clear it doesn't have consensus is simply sowing discord and confusion. And you know, he went on and on about this, but he makes some really good points about how SegWit2x, supposedly dead, has this sort of fatal flaw despite that, and there were people that were threatening to actually still continue with the fork. Turns out that the code just wouldn't have worked anyway. It was off by 1. Miners were planning on doing a greater than 1 megabyte block a block later than they should have, so the software just didn't work. And that's essentially what happened. And I'm gonna try to write this up in a way that you guys can understand it. Hopefully, release it by Monday. But yeah, this a major thing there. All right, second one. This tweet by Pierre Rochard. The cancellation announcement originated from learning that miners would not mine on SegWit2x beyond T plus 12 hours after the fork point. And this is straight from Jeff Garzik in the BTC1 Slack, and that's the exact quote there. The Jeff Garzik, Mike Belshi, Jihan Wu, Eric Voorhees, they all learned that miners would not mine SegWit2x after about 12 hours. So they had about 12 hours to capture sort of the economic majority, or hope that enough people would come over in 12 hours to make it profitable for the miners. Otherwise, the miners basically threatened to just mine whatever is more profitable at that point. So that's what seems to have caused the Gang of Six to write that letter to basically say, hey, we're abandoning SegWit2x. All right, some other stuff going on. This is a post by Magical Tux, whom you probably know as Mark Karpelis. And this is going on about exactly what about the bankruptcy, about how much the 202,000 Bitcoins that are held in bankruptcy court. And given today's price, it can just basically pay everybody out and still have a lot of money left over. And, going on about sort of a possible Mt. Gox revival. In it, he says, well, here's what it would take. Here's how much of the money. And what would you do to actually launch Mt. Gox again? And here's what he says: launch an ICO to raise money to hypothetically revive Mt. Gox. So even Mark Karpellis, who we've basically left for dead, he's pondering an ICO in order to go and redo Mt. Gox. And he has this little offer at the end here. It says, should anyone have 245 million USD sitting around that want to purchase Mt. Gox, just drop me an email. So, yeah, that's kind of an interesting way to go about it. I don't know if an ICO would happen or if anyone would be interested, but that's certainly sort of one of the hot ways to raise money right now. I personally think hard fork will probably work better, but regardless, yeah, a lot of people sort of making fun of this, saying, hey, maybe there will finally be Litecoin on Mt. Gox. Anyway. All right, so let's take a look at sort of the traffic report for today. This is the, mempool stats. It's come down from, the peak of last weekend. It's reasonable. A lot of transactions just aren't paying that much because it is the weekend. During the week, you see like these spikes with new, different color bands, largely because these are, people that really need to urgently get their transactions in. And that happened up to yesterday. I think the weekend you don't get so many of those. So, I think you can still get reasonable priced transactions in. So, especially if you're using SegWit. All right, let's take a look at the next story. All right, this is published by Aaron Van Werdum, Beginner's Guide to Claiming Your Bitcoin Gold and Selling It. And yeah, he has a big caveat here. Be careful. Bitcoin Gold does enforce strong replay protection, but putting your private keys into any software that you don't necessarily know very well is going to be a problem. And you may get your funds stolen. That's actually what one of the wallets that was listed on the Bitcoin Gold website did. So basically, I think the recommendation more or less is use Coinomi. I guess it's been vetted to some degree, and Ledger and Trezor don't have anything yet. It's not really traded on that many exchanges. You can see here, it's trading about $165, which is about 2%, something like that. And you can take a look at which markets trade it. Currently, it's HIP BTC, Bitfinex, Binance. Binance, for some reason, has a much higher price than everybody else. They're a Chinese exchange, from what I've heard. And CoinNest, which is a Korean exchange, has an even higher price. So something about the Asian countries that have better prices. So if you can manage to get something into those, that might be a better idea. I don't know. I'm not your broker. Let's see, that is not the right one. All right, here we go. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Certainly, the weekend hopefully brings a smaller mempool, so we can all get our transactions in and stuff. There's gonna be some stuff going on. All right, somebody's asking me to. Volume is too low. Gosh, let me see if I can. You know what I think I did is I didn't set this up right. All right, maybe volume now is better. I apologize to everybody because I didn't do everything. Again, I'm using new software, trying to learn it and make sure that it works perfectly. It obviously doesn't work perfectly if you guys can't really can't really hear me very well. But yeah, there's some traffic going on. I am going to work on that article to do a post-mortem of BTC1 and what happened there, and just get into the guts of the code, and we'll see what. Oh, now there's an echo. All right, fine. All right. Anyway, yeah, maybe I should have wanted it. Yeah. See, this is what happens. All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for yeah, I know. Yeah. You guys are all saying echo. Too much reverb. Everyone is saying echo. Yeah, I know. Still echoing? Is it still echoing? See. Read the chat after adjusting sound stuff. Yeah, there's like a 30-second delay, so no earmuffs. The mic was too close to the speakers. Thank you, Jimmy. 2 Jimmys. Still is on echo. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess I'll have to figure it out. All right, I'll turn off the microphone here. Change back that setting. All right, we understand, Jimmy. Try to yeah, thank you guys for being on. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Anyway, I want to end with what I usually end with, which is this song is done.